Hello, everybody, and I hope you're having a great Saturday. I'm Justin from Playing Board Games, and today I got a resolution check-in. If you don't know what that is, luckily I'm going to explain it to all of you. I'm going to explain it to you here. I've been saying this at the start of each one of these videos, and this one is no exception. So, let's dive in. My goal for the year of 2023 in Our Lord Cthulhu was to play all the player cards. This means I need to put in all assets into play, I need to play all events from my hand, and I need to commit each skill card to a test. A card counts as played if this only happens once. This has been a daunting challenge, and I've had my ups and I've had my downs. And this is my second to last update. I wanted to give all of you awesome viewers one more update before the final update at the end of the year. So why don't we dive in, see the rest of the rules, and see how it's been. So, a few more boring rules to cover here are pretty simple. Events and assets do not count as if they are as played if they are committed to a test. I need to actually play and resolve the asset or event. I don't need to use it if, I don't need to use it to its fullest potential. If I use it enough, if I use it once, that's the thing. That's a card counts as played. Yeah. And also, cards played in standalone mode count for progress, which is very important because if I had to do all of this in campaigns, this would not have been possible because that's a lot of cards. Investigators don't count and only cards released at the start of 2023. So last year, I did the Play All Investigators resolution, and then Hank Sampson's Wild Adventure, the new expansion coming out in January 2024, does not count for cards are released, which is lucky because, as I said in the previous video, now that Hemlock Vale has actually been officially announced, it is kind of convenient, for me at least, that I don't need to explain, hey, those ones don't count because it comes out in January 2024. However, it's not great for me because I now need to wait longer to play with new Arkham cards, which is always just a little bit, you're like, I want new cards, it's my time to be ungrateful and impatient, So, with all that said and done, end of October 28th, 2023, we've been at this for 10 months now. How is it going? Well, I got good news. It's going great! I'm gonna finish this damn thing. So, I've had periods where I was overconfident in the beginning. I was like, this thing ain't missing. And then I kind of slowed down. And then in June, I was like, this is going to be really tough. And then in my last update, I was like, I've made progress, but I still feel like there's so much left. However, with this update, I can confidently say, I'm finishing this. I'm getting every card played by the end of the year. Here is our breakdown for how things are looking. As always, there is some kind of discrepancy with numbers because my Excel spreadsheet kind of screwed up a bit. But as you can see, we are now less than 14% left to go, which is super awesome. From the last check-in to now, we've played 112 cards from September 2nd, which is kind of awesome. Now, notably, we do have to play more than 112 cards before the end of the year. But at this point now, I see the finish line. I got that final burst of speed, and I'm right towards that finish line, and it's going to be no problem. A big thing as well, I made it a focus within my last month to play a bunch of Mystic cards within the last check-in. And as you can see, I took down from 64 unplayed Mystic cards to 28. So it's now on par with Rogue, on par with Seeker, which is super awesome. The neutral cards are almost done. The multi-class cards, there's still a few of them left. Notably, one of them is Old Shotgun. I just need to build a standalone deck around it because that card intimidates the hell out of me. And I think I just got to put it into action. But notably, we're worst case scenario in every class. Play Nat Cho, Harvey Walters, Winifred Havemuck, Jacqueline Fine, and Stella, and just put each card in the deck. That's kind of the worst case scenario we are for all of these, which is kind of the best place to be, right? Because now, if I want to just lazily finish it, I can. But now I have the time on streams, in my own personal moments where I'm playing Arkham, which does happen now and again, by the way. I'm able to build decks around these cards and take advantage of them without having to just like cheat the system, so to speak. But I'm very happy with this progress, and as I said, I'm doing great. This is the best I've felt since it started, which is great because, you know, like, it's kind of like this. Highs into it, it was like this. It was like a little U, you know? Like, that was kind of like the hype level as we went through this resolution. With all that said, though, I don't know if I'm going to do a resolution for 2024. I might just, like, my resolution might just be to play Arkham. We're going to see what happens. This has been a lot, and it's been a fun challenge, but I'm looking forward kind of like no rules for the next year of Arkham. But we'll see. As always, I like to talk about some cards that have kind of hit with me, and one of them was Otherworldly Compass. So just recently on the channel, the Color of Oz playthrough has been coming out, and I'm playing a Trish deck that's built around Otherworldly Compass and Lola Santiago, and it's awesome. I don't think Otherworldly Compass is a card that you can just put into any one of your decks and play, but I do think the text on the card is actually considerably relevant, and it does make me curious if I could play it in in Daryl or Min at a tested 0, because I feel like those two can really take advantage of it as well, and it made me look at this card that I never really looked at before and been like, wait a minute, this card's actually kind of sick. I think the card also is, like I said, I don't think it's great, but I think it's playable even without those. So this is like the thing about this whole Play All Card Challenge that I'm very happy about, and it was actually kind of one of the goals when I started, which was, how can I find these cards that I previously never looked at and see what I might be able to discover about them. So I think that was like a really cool thing about this and Otherworldly Compass. But the Trish deck, I love it. It's a blast. I mean, Trish is a great investigator, which certainly helps. But the Otherworldly Compass, it pops off. So big thumbs up to that. Next one here is we got the M1918 Bar. My first time playing this card. I play it it's on the Patreon, which if you want to join, you can find a link in the description. Come support me and the channel and play more Arkham. I am playing this as a Leo Anderson deck through Darkham Horror, which is a custom campaign themed around Darkest Dungeon. And it's sick. It's sick. I don't think it's particularly, like, great. It's not consistent. It's not used for fighting small things, but this thing is a freaking boss killer, man. You get some contraband, you get some swift reloads, you get some custom ammunition, and you're going to the goddamn moon on this M1918 Bar. It's fun. It's fun. You have to have, like, some security in there, so I'm playing, like, Snipe and Marksmanship, I think? No, I'm playing Eat Lead and Marksmanship. I'm not playing Snipe with M1918. I could. I still need to play Snipe. I could. Actually, probably should. That's not a bad upgrade. Maybe I'll change that over what I did upgrade. See, look at this. All the gears are turning from after playing with all the cards. Actually, with all this said, I do think that this whole playing with every card has made me a better Arkham player over the year and a better deck builder, which is crazy. I'm still constantly looking at how I can improve my Arkham play, and this challenge, I have to thank a lot for that. Cool card, though. I love the M1918 Bar, but the downside of it being that you can't use it to kill small things, or you don't want to use it. You can use it to kill small things, but you don't want to use it to kill small things. And the risk of drawing the tokens that, will cause you to auto-fail, namely the auto-fail token, certainly, like, balances out it. But the card is really fun. I have a great time with it. Oh, Parallel Ashcan Pete. Parallel Ashcan Pete. So this guy, I like Parallel Ashcan Pete a lot. And there was a lot of stuff that, there's a lot of things that people were talking about when he was first coming out. And for me, personally, I think Hiding Spot is a 10 out of 10 card. I played Fool Me once, and I played a Blob Epic multiplayer last weekend. And I had Ashcan Pete, Parallel Ashcan Pete as my investigator. I was the main clue getter for our group. And I played Fool Me once. And, treachery cards are scenario cards. And being able to just, like, play this card over and over again is kind of sick. So, while people are talking about, the makeshift trap, it's good. And it's a lot of experience. But for one experience, you can just do this over and over and over again. It's pretty good. You should try it out. If you're playing Ashcan Parallel Pete, look at Hiding Spot and Fool Me Once, and you'll have a great, great time. Also, look at Shortcut 2. Shortcut 2? Yeah. Look at Shortcut 2, too. That's how the English language works. Okay, so I wanted to do something a little bit different for this video because we're reaching the final home stretch. Instead of talking about more cards that really wowed me, because truth be told, a lot of cards were kind of just met expectations with this last batch of cards, I wanted to talk about 5 cards, one from each class, that I'm most intimidated to play for reasons. So, first up, we got Monster Slayer in the Guardian class. Now, you might be thinking, Justin, this card actually is pretty easy to play. But it just feels like... So this card, if you don't know what it does, I'll read it for you at home. 1 cost, 5 experience, fight. If this attack succeeds against a non-elite enemy, defeat that enemy. Good text. Good text. 2 downsides, though. You have to make the test, and it costs 5 experience. So it's one of those cards that it's probably going to be played in a standalone. And I know you might be thinking, Justin, just play it and miss. Yeah, but it's the card that I always look at, and I just see it and I'm like, I don't really want to play this card. So that's why it keeps getting the can kicked down the road for actually putting it into one of my decks. So that's kind of like the downside for this card, is that I want to play it somewhere where it's actually where I want to play it. And I'd look at this card and I just see cardboard that makes me angry. I'm like, I don't want to play this card, but I'm gonna. But it is the Guardian card that I'm least looking forward to play of the however many Guardian cards I have left, which I'm actually kind of curious. I'm going to write it down. So we still have 22 Guardian, 28 Seeker, 28 Rogue, 28 Mystics, let's go, and 21 Survivors. Okay. Onto the Seeker card, we got Dissection Tools. Now, once again, this is a level 0 card. This is a level 0 card, but it's the one that I'm least looking forward to play. Because, honestly, it's actually been in a lot of my Seeker decks throughout this entire year. I put it into a lot of my Seeker decks to just play. But when the time comes, I can't, in good faith, put it into play. Because I'm like, I would rather just advance the game, right? I'd rather just win than play this card that I don't really think I'm going to get a lot of use out of. However, one of our viewers, Stu Dunspar, so you might have heard me say his name before, says that I should try it in a Finn deck. So that's probably where I'm going to put it into, a Combat Finn. I'm actually going to see in the Gauntlet, which if you don't know is a challenge where I'm trying to play I'm playing every campaign with 1 collection, which has also been a crazy challenge for the year. Holy hell. 2023 is going to go down as the year of Arkham. It's going to be my biggest year of Arkham I've ever had in my life, which is crazy because I play a lot of Arkham, but this is definitely the biggest, most Arkham I've played. But I have Finn coming up in Edge of the Earth, so I'm thinking I might try to see if Dissection Tools is in there. But once again, this goes into the problem where am I going to put my frickin' guns, right? My weapons to fight with, they take up my hand slots. And this is why Dissection Tools is the Seeker card that I'm looking forward to playing the least, because I just don't think it's worth the slot. And I've tried to play it, and I've just never found an opportunity to play it. But maybe we'll change it if we have a deck built around it. And hopefully in campaign play. Our rogue card that I'm looking the least excited to play is the Lucky Dice. Just 2 experience exceptional. I have to spend resources to ignore that Chaos token and reveal another one after I reveal the token. And if I reveal the autofail symbol, I remove Lucky Dice from the game. It's just a lot of work, and it's a card that doesn't excite me. I like the level 3 version a bit more just because, you don't have to pay resources for it. I believe you can you can pay resources or add a curse token, I think, off the top of my head. But it's just a card that I look at, and it makes me think, I don't want to play you because you cost a lot. You take up a slot that's better filled by other more exciting things, and you're just not worth the squeeze at this point. When you just have Dunwich, yeah, I can see playing this card. So maybe I should do a challenge where I only play with Dunnage for a scenario or a campaign, and maybe I can get lucky dice out. But notably as well, with only, what is it, like 8-ish weeks of the year left? Maybe like 8 to 10 weeks of the year left. It is going to be harder to get campaigns in this time. We're going to need to like speed run some campaigns or play a lot of standalones to get through these remaining cards. Just something to be aware of. Our Mystic cards is Flute of the Outer Gods. I've played this card. I played this card last year. I got 10 curse tokens on it, and it did nothing. And I just don't want to play it because I don't want to do it again. I've already done it. I've already seen the ceiling of Flute of the Outer Gods, and it wasn't great. I played it for 10 resources. I got 10 curse tokens on it, and it didn't do anything. And I don't want to have to play it again because I've already played it. I've already did the thing. And I got to do it again. And that's kind of like where I am. It's probably going to be in an Ursula deck again. I think Ursula is probably the best user of Flute of the Outer Gods, but that isn't saying much. And finally, our Survivor card is Perseverance because I don't die. I kind of have to like force it. I very rarely come into a point where I am defeated, which might sound like a humble brag, and it's not humble, it's just a brag. But this is a card that like I've put into decks and it's kind of just sat there and I've never used it. So I think my plan is maybe like a Tommy Muldoon deck that uses that wants to take damage, and then I just like use this as like a cancel damage card as opposed to like a don't die card. And that's like the home I see that I'm going to probably try it out in. But a lot of the Survivor cards I look at and I'm like, yeah, I can play this card. This card's actually easy to get into play. But Perseverance is like the one where I'm like, the cards where I have to die are probably the hardest. So another one would be like Cheat Death, which would also be kind of tricky. Sweet! Yes! Here, I'm going to end it on the over here as we come back. So the whole... I'm feeling great, though. This has been a really fun resolution, and I'm glad someone suggested it because it's been a really fun Arkham year for me. It's actually kind of changed the perspective in which I look at Arkham cards and deck building. Which is wild that I've been playing this game since it came out, and I'm still learning and discovering more. And I have to point it specifically to this challenge for that being the case. But only 135 cards left to go. I'm getting there. So I will see you all at the end of the year. At the end of the year, when we do the final resolution check-in, and I'm going to look back. My plan is, I think, to look at the last cards that I needed to play in each class. Try to get that written down, like the last 5 or 10 cards in each class to see what the stragglers were. And then also the last cards overall. And also I think I'm going to be having some content around there as well, which is cards that surprised me the most over the year, or my favorite cards that I played with. So with that, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you've been enjoying these resolution check-ins. We got one final check-in to go at the end of the year, but have a good one. Thanks for watching, and as always, GG's.